Hello everyone, this is Kat. After a long delay of, the last video I made was just a little flower thing on my cake, and for my birthday I was given COVID. So, that kind of put me down just a little bit. So pottery has not been, I haven't been able to do a lot of pottery, any pottery really. Haven't been able to do a lot of anything, but I'm going back to work tonight. And I wanted to do a quick rundown of things that I've done since I've started pottery. The next video will probably have some press plates. Then the next one, I had a bunch of ideas, but can't think of them right now. So anyway, I'm going to go up into my cabinet, show you a couple of my favorite mugs. This is one of my last ones. I know I said whenever I got it out of the kiln, not my favorite, but I like that it's pretty funky looking. I like the odd ones. I had, as I climbed to get my very top of my cabinet. Okay. This was my first hand-built mug. I'd watched some clay share while I was down with COVID the first time, and it's wonky. I actually got a name on it. So it says Kathy 2020. This was in my very first kiln opening that I had. And it may not look like anything, but the handle, I like to be able to get a good grip on a handle. And of all my mugs, this is the best handle that I've liked. Now, as much time as I spent on it, I probably could have sold it for, I don't know, $80,000. What do you think? 80,000 should be. Anyway, this was my first mug. Here are a couple of my other mugs that I've made. The newer one, I should say the older ones. They are very heavy. So you need a really good grip on the mug. This one has some crazing on it as well. But luckily the crazing's on the outside that's visible anyway. I'm sure there's crazing everywhere else. This one also has a bit of crazing. Don't know if you can see it or not. The handle's too small, but I like the design on the outside. These were some of my test tiles that I made in the beginning. This was with Al's base. That's his regular base. That's with some rutile. This is rutile blue. This is the blue dawn, and then this was with a certain amount of iron oxide. It's all wonky. It was my first plates to make. I used the GR Pottery forms, and obviously I mishandled it. But it served its purpose too. This was some other test glazes I made with my gloss glaze, the Odyssey Clear. This was with a little bit of pink. This was with yellow ochre. And then this was some just different amounts of iron oxide. I don't even remember what this one, this was like a black one I was attempting. But these were all dippable glazes, and I did brush them on. This is one of my favorite bowls too, but I did not make that. It's my little plastic bowl. I should put on some of these that my first kiln had a tendency to underfire or overfire. It just kind of does what it wanted to do. I'm still going to tame the beast. I'm still going to tame it. This was one of my first little press plates. My granddaughters made it. This was with General Stoneware. Carmen's turquoise. Did not like. But it also underfired. So this is a cone 6 to 10. So meaning full vitrification, more at 10. And then you would throw in an already matte glaze. So it just wasn't a good combination. And I'm not sure I like that glaze a whole lot. I have advanced through time, considering this was my first really good cylinder that I made on the wheel. It's a cone 10. I made it at the studio that I was able to go to for several months. Really love that place. This was another small little dish that I'm going to need to make a bunch more like them. I made this also at the studio. It's a cone 10 firing. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of problems that potters can have. And please don't use these bowls or whatever you make. Yep, okay, saving the bloops. Saving the bloops. Go ahead in. Okay. That's where they have their food. So, okay, so pinholing. What, well, obviously the bottom. I was not a good steward of cookies, using cookies, and so the entire bottom's just like a shattered mess. But then on the inside, don't know if you can see that. Look at all the pitting. And some of the glaze inside there is starting to chip out. I haven't used this for a bowl for me to eat out of because of all of that. I just had it with some underglaze in it, but I'm going to trash this. This is going in the pile because I know you can see where the chip is, like right there. And the glaze just chips right out of it. And also, this was one of my favorite bowls. But also, I used it once and then realized, look at that. It's chipping in there too. My big red eye is going to be smashed. Not at this point, but further down the line, I'm going to be having a smash party and y'all get to watch. I have a couple other bowls that I like. This one, 300 pounds. Chun. And then Seltzer Temuco that was in John Brett's book. The Chun is in Amazing Glaze. Chun is an amazing. I don't have any problems with that glaze. It's not a runner. It holds things together. I like it a lot. This one also weighs a bunch, but it's a good bowl. It's a good bowl, even though it's heavy. I figure if there's ever a person comes in and breaks in, I can just chunk them right in the head with these bowls, and they'll probably be out for the count. This is one of my first bowls as well. Heavy, 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 but look at that. Love it. Love that. This one had rutile. This was also underfired some. Rutile and then spearmint. Spearmint hates me, the one that I have, so I'm going to have to do some work on it. This is a bowl I made for my husband's birthday last year. Yep, last year or the year before, I can't remember. But it and the cookie became one. But he likes the Cowboys. So sorry they lost. But yeah, cookie. The next bowls that I did this on, I put a foot ring. This one, I didn't, and I was worried that it was going to stick to the bottom of the, stick to the kiln shelf, but it didn't, but it did stick to my cookie. And Marie on Pottery Crafters' suggestion of using cookies saved me on that one. Okay, getting these out of the way so I know what I talked about. I want to talk about Chip here. Chip was shipped. He's one of my mugs that I made at the first. The second, no, this was in the first rounds. I used my clear and then I used Blue Dawn on top of it. Some black underglaze. No, I'm sorry, pardon me. I used the underglaze on this, then I put the clear, and then I put right to here Blue Dawn. And so you can see how it melted because I had it too thick, and then it made that. So all I've got to do is grind that off. It's just been sitting around in despair, but it's a cute mug. It may eventually leak because it underfired. Like I said, this was one of my favorites that I made because it's just a nice drinking cup. Here's another bowl. I was getting closer. I was getting closer with this bowl. This is the Chun Blue with the Blue Dawn. I even got a foot on it. I was so proud. This was the first successful foot, but it's still real thick through here. So learning a lot, I can feel the thickness through here. And then whenever I went to glaze it, I had put the wax a little bit in. So that still needed work. This was one of my first bowls. And I call this my chicken dumpling bowl. I like to put chicken dumplings in it. This was refired a couple times. I don't know why I put those red stripes on there, but I love the biohazard. Little creamer, drips just down to there. And so, once again, I'm just showing y'all some things I made as I've been coming through and getting better and better. Showing mistakes that still go on, because I don't want anybody to be discouraged, because if we get discouraged, we never grow. And that's just keep going. Don't worry what people say. You're going to love stuff. This, like I said, my favorite mug, because I can hold it. It looks like a mess, I'm sure, but I'm so proud of this mug because it was my first. So you be proud of what you make. This was a great bowl, but it's got a little thickness through here, but let me tell you what I did with this. I want to show you the crystals that are there. Isn't that amazing? That's Al's Blue Dawn. What I did do, and what I didn't know, was I put a dip around the ring, or I brushed around the rim, some glaze with pink mason stain. Well, as y'all know, as some of y'all know, and now everybody will know, pink mason stain burns out. So in this particular load, my kiln overheated. So what could have been great for the bowl was terrible for the stain, mason stain. And so I want you to look at the gross green in there. Yeah, the pink turned to this nasty green looking color. And there it is on the bottom. I sort of got a rim on this, or a bottom on it. It's, you know. But I love my little bowl. Not perfect, kind of a little ugly, but it was my crystals. And it was one of my first actually good weighted bowls. Here's something I was very excited about. Needs some work. This firing went way over firing. Probably got to an 8 or a 9. I've since dialed in on the kiln, the big kiln. I had made Al's Nutmeg. I created the glaze, or I created from the base, I created some glaze, and the nutmeg kept spitting off this bowl into my kiln shelf. But you know what? I love this bowl. Kind of looks like a K in there. Other than it's ugly on the outside. Looks kind of cool on the inside. Was overfired. I know it's vitrified, so I guess that's a plus. There's no pinholing. What I do like about the bowl, the weight's really good. And I'm so proud of myself for working on that glaze and kind of making it mine. And so even though it's kind of ugly on the outside, well, really, really ugly on the outside, it has a foot that I did. And it's a little unoval in the firing because it got really hot. But I'm so proud of it because that's my glaze. Just around the rim anyway. So yay. You know, everything is a growth. Here's a bowl I love to eat in. I love to eat in it. I'd be so embarrassed if somebody saw it and said, oh, that's one of your favorite bowls? Yeah, it's one of my favorite bowls. Okay, so there's the shape. Yeah, love the glazing inside. And I found a pink glaze that actually stayed. The foot is terrible, if you can see. It was a little out of wonk, totally not centered correctly. And then there's this. And so, terrible, 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 terrible. I was watching They Call Us Timely, and she was showing how to do some trimming on some out of shape bowls. So I was kind of excited, and I'm going to try that. Every day is a growing experience. Some other things that I'd made, and then I'll get to my really, really favorite bowl. And then another bowl that I'm pretty proud of. I had started trying to do resin. Look at these wonderful guitar picks. Look at this. Do you think that's going to work? No, that's not going to work. Look at that. I kind of set that aside. This one's a lot better. This one will hold up to a little bit. I haven't been able to play very much because it required a lot more shoulder than I had. So this year's, I'm really going to work hard on that. So there's that. The next bowl that I'm really proud of, even though it got out of round while I was firing it. I'm sure I mishandled it too. But look at this. Okay. It's got some strontium crystal magic, which is one of the first times I've used it. It's got leopard print look on the outside. And then, oh gosh, I think it was John's Cash Blue and then Strontium Crystal Magic. But it's on a black clay. And even though it's out of shape and questionable as far as the rim, I mean, the Strontium Crystal Magic really did some things on the inside. And I'm not really sure I made a ton of it, and I'm not really sure that I'm liking it a lot. But look how big this bowl is. It's the biggest bowl I've thrown on my wheel. And so it's my bowl. And I love my bowl. So every time, I mean, we can look at the size difference. This was the biggest I could get when I started. And now look at this. I'm so excited about this. And this clay is very finicky. I could only go to cone 5. And so I'd gotten my kiln to where I know, and I can verify with the cones that I really hit a cone 5. And so I don't have any blisters on this bowl. And so I've dealt with some particular things. Here's a mug I've made. Love this mug. Love this mug. Out of buffalo wallow clay. Yeah, glaze job could have been better, but see those ridges that go down in it? I like that. I love that. And so it's perfect for a cup of tea. Because I'm not a coffee drinker, I'm a tea drinker. Okay, let me, well, I've got to get up here now. This is a hand-built bowl I made. Probably my crowning achievement. It's my husband's salad bowl. He likes a lot of salad. It's out of round. You can see the bottom. Look how big the rim I put on it. But it's a good sturdy bowl. And guess what? This bowl did not crack. I was on a quest to make a bowl that was this big with a form that didn't crack, and it did not crack. So am I happy about this one? Yes, I'm so happy. As I try to break that one, I ground down the foot, and it feels it's as smooth as a baby's bottom on it. Inside could use a little work, but I used Amico tea dust and, oh gosh, night moth, I think. And I can't remember what else. I'd have to go back and look at my notes. But so I'm really proud of this bowl. Is it perfect? No. But it's a great bowl and my husband likes it. Or at least he tells me he likes it. Then my favorite bowl. This is made out of buffalo wallow clay. I got little handles on it. They stayed on. The handles didn't fall off. Whenever I pulled it out of the kiln, I thought, oh no, did I have a crack at the... No, I put that on purpose. I forgot. Because I wanted it to not drip onto the shelves. So I put a little break with a needle tool. Next time I'll do like a carving tool to make it look better. But this is some rutile with floating blue on it. And because of the color of the bowl, or of the clay, it turned it a really dark navy blue, then the lighter blue, and then I've got the rutile color. But I love this bowl. I love my bowl. Is it perfect? No. But you know what? Every time I pull something out of the kiln, I'm learning something. And so please don't get discouraged when you do pottery. I mean, I started in earnest in 2020. I got sick in 2020. So that was my first round of COVID, and now this is my last round of COVID. Luckily, I missed the Delta variants, and I am vaccinated, just to say. But I'm a nurse, also to say. And so I get exposed to a lot of things. But anyway, those are some of my pots since 2020 to now. And if you continue this journey with me, we are going to make a lot more pots. I've got plans to make a complete spherical square kind of plates set. I'm looking at just doing all kinds of things. I'm going to make some, oh yeah, now I remember. I've got to make some pots, for plants, because I'm going to be putting in one heck of a garden, and I need to make some really nice sized planters. And so that's going to be a big deal because I have a hard time getting hand-built stuff to not crack on me, and I don't see myself being able to throw yet that big of a piece. So I'm going to be hand building, and so you'll get to come through that journey with me and see how many of those I ruin before I get one. But once again, I'm not quitting. Eventually I'm going to have some really, really great stuff, but in the meantime, I have some great stuff too. You know, love my bowls and love my mugs, even the wonky ones. So tell below. Tell me what your favorite mugs are that you've made. Tell me about your favorite first pieces if you kept them. Now tell me about some of your mess ups that you're not going to keep, kind of like mine with the pinholes that are going to be crashed with a hammer at a later date on film. I'll do it on film. I've got a lot of things to break. I did have a sale this year, or last year, and I made a grand total of $80. But I was excited about it. I sold some gnomes. I sold a couple mugs, probably some sympathy mugs because it just wasn't going so well. But I'll take sympathy mug sales. Al being my first mug buyer. Thank you for being my first pot buyer, Al. Anyway, then I sold some gnomes that I made. I love my gnomes too. Gave some family members mugs, things like that. Really, that's the 2-year end. 2-year end results, and we're going to be seeing what the next 2 years brings. I'm sure I can get taller and taller on the wheel, and I expect to see a lot of improvement and actually being able to catch some of my bowls and mugs to turn them to trim the bottoms better, because with my work that's kind of the hardest part, is catching it with the right timing. But anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. And I really appreciate you watching, and hopefully you stayed to the end. If you did, I really, really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. See you later. Bye.